This story encapsulates the truth: faith can move mountains. This is an example of how even the impossible was made possible by divine grace. Once upon a time, there lived a sage called Mrikandu with his wife Marutnati. The couple were ardent devotees of Lord Shiva. They fervently prayed to the Lord, who was pleased with them and granted them the boon of a child. The Lord told them that they could either have a righteous son, but with a short life on earth, or a child of low intelligence, but with a long life. Mrikandu Rishi chose the former and was blessed with an exemplary son named Markandeya, who was destined to die at a very young age. Markandeya was an intelligent child. He had mastered the Vedas and Shastras at a very young age. He was admired by all and became the epitome of humility and respect. One day, when he went to the forest to collect darba grass and samhit for his father to perform yajna, he met the Saptarishis by chance in the forest. The Saptarishis were gifted a boon by Lord Brahma that whatever they uttered would become true. The moment Markandeya saw the divine rishis, he at once paid his respects to them. He performed Abhivadana, a formal manner of introducing himself by his name and lineage and prostrating at the elders' feet to seek their blessings. Touched by the boy's humble and respectful demeanor, the Saptarishis blessed him with the words, "May you live long." No sooner did they utter these words did they realize that they made a grave mistake of blessing Markandeya, who was destined by the law of creation not to live long. Thus, they sought the counsel of the Creator, Lord Brahma, who assuaged the anxious sages and told them that their words would become true at the right time. The Saptarishis were consoled by Brahma's assurance of Markandeya's fate. Meanwhile, in Mrikandu's ashram, young Markandeya progressed well in his studies and he earned the respect of the young and old alike. His parents were happy, but the fear that they would lose him very soon haunted their minds every day. Markandeya saw his worried parents and asked them the reason for their anxiety. Then the sage Mrikandu told him about the boon he once got from Lord Shiva. Markandeya heard all that his parents had to say and assured them that he would try to tackle death by seeking the grace of Lord Shiva. Mrikandu was skeptical and wondered how his son could go against what was ordained for him. Nevertheless, the helpless parents blessed little Markandeya with a heavy heart and allowed him to do what he felt was best. Markandeya, armed with the blessings of elders, marched on an expedition from Mrikandu's hermitage to the banks of the river Gomati at Varanasi. There, with complete faith and surrender to the Lord, the young Markandeya chose a secluded place where he installed a linga of Lord Shiva and worshipped it. His faith in Lord Shiva grew by the day due to his fervent prayers. He continuously chanted the Mrityunjaya mantra and pleaded to the Lord to save him. As the day of his doom neared, the Yamadutas, or servants of Yama, the Lord of Death, arrived to take Markandeya with them. But to their utter disbelief, they could not come close to Markandeya. He was filled with divine light due to his rigorous austerities. Thus, they returned to Yama defeated. Yama, who heard this, was upset with his servants for not being able to bring a mere boy with them. He mounted his buffalo and goaded the animal towards Markandeya. He neared Markandeya, who was intensely worshipping the Lord. He thundered at Markandeya, who was completely absorbed in his worship. Receiving silence in response, the god of death scoffed, "Young man, get up. I have had enough of you. Even the mightiest of kings, emperors, and sages cannot escape me. What of a puny lad like you?" Then, wasting no time, Yama released his pasha, the nose of death, and it landed on Markandeya, who was desperately holding on to the Shivalinga. Yama tried to drag Markandeya along with the Shivalinga. Suddenly, the linga burst open, and from it emerged a furious Lord Shiva. His eyes blazed with anger on seeing the god of death. The Lord thundered at Yama, the sight of whom terrified Yama, who obediently dropped his noose and meekly surrendered to the Lord. When the Lord eventually calmed himself, Yama prostrated before him and explained that he was doing his prescribed duty of taking the boy's life. Lord Shiva warned Yama that although he was doing his duty, he cautioned him to use his discretion before ill-treating his favorite devotee by dragging him disrespectfully. And so he taught Yama a lesson in humility and advised him that the Lord was beyond the rules of creation and extinction. Pleased with Markandeya's penance and for setting an example to the world of the power of bhakti or devotion, Lord Shiva made an exception and blessed the boy with an immortal life. Yama was simply forced to comply with the Lord's orders and left the place. Thus, the impossible was made possible by the faith and patience of Markandeya's devotion to the Lord. Om Namah Shivaya.